The Winds of Winter, a Hooves family adventure by Defender 2222. Part 3. Are we all set? Clover asked these simple unicorns, each one a leader in their own right. The unicorns had always been a proud tribe, and independent as well. Many would identify themselves as belonging to their family first, then to the tribe. They were like the Pegasi, who were a true army that viewed family as little more than its identification, or the Earth ponies that blended their ranks so much they were all related to each other in some way or form. The unicorns were less of a tribe, and more of a collective of families. One that, granted, was united at the moment by a common goal. But that unity was always hanging on by a thread that balanced on the edge of a blade, fraying forever away from it. Clover looked at the assembly of family heads, leaning heavy over the oak table. Outside their tent, the howling wind ripped through their camp, chilling even those unicorns who knew how to cast warming charms. They decided not to put out any guards, reasoning that the winds would make it impossible for Pegasi to fly, and the snow too deep for Earth ponies to march. A downpour of sleet had fell upon the land, covering the green groves that had attracted all three tribes to the land, frosting them over like a sheet cake. But they, the elite unicorn mages and nobles, cared about this, they did not show it. For their thirst for war was pushed aside all other needs. Yes, General Lightburst said, horn glowing as he grabbed one of the wooden figures that represented a platoon of unicorn mages, placed it on the map laid out before them. The 5th Brigade is in position on the outcrops here and here. He sent another wood figure across for the first, and none of them worried about how the 5th Brigade would manage out in this weather. There were grunts in the Mage Corps, but no family need to fall back on, and no Grand Mages to lend them a spot of safety. They would first have to do you wait your orders, Clover? Very good, Clover said, nodding her head, allowing her eyes to slowly slide across the table, staring at each and every unicorn that stood before her. These were the cream of the crop, the greatest of the unicorn society. She let her eyes linger on a few, searching for any sign of weakness among them, any hint that they didn't have the stomach for what was about to happen. Satisfied with what she saw, the purple unicorn pushed away from the table and smiled grimly. Then we're all set. Soon our scouts will lead those muddy ears and cloud cutters into the valley. Then we'll spy each other. Clover levitated a wooden pony figure and dragged a little earth pony carving across the map. I believe that the others have set them up. We will let them do what they do best, waste their energies fighting each other. When they are bleeding and broken, then, and only then, will our army strike. Those who do not throw themselves upon their bellies, begging for the blessing of enslavement, will be wiped away. And maybe even some that beg. A particular nasty work named Sunstring. Okay, well, this is grim. Of all the unicorns, Sunstring did the least to hide her more base thoughts and desires. The others could pretend they were doing this for the good of Ponyland. Sunstring just wanted to watch other tribes burn. Clover returned a smile and said with just as ferocity, Indeed, nothing like a bit of mindless bloodshed to put the fear of the unicorn in those stunned foals. She turned her back on the generals and waved them away. Get some rest. Tomorrow we avenge our princess, once and for all, staying the earth and Pegasus ponies. Clover didn't even glance back as the family heads pushed away from the table, casting warming charms upon them and before leaving the tent and braving the raging snowstorm. The weather had taken a turn for the worse since the beginning of the meeting. The howling wind showed no signs of calming. Clover, for her part, stared back at her tent, shoulders firm as she mentally ran over her battle plans for the 20th time. Is there a problem, Sunstream? The orange unicorn mare removed her hood, shaking her blood-red mane. No problem, Clover. Far from it. I've preached to you months for now that you are our only course of action. You routinely push my ideas aside, setting them too extreme. Now here you are, ready to enact the final option. What changed? Clover clicked her teeth together, considering her rival's words. Mine was open at the end that came, Sunstream. I saw the pettiness and greed in other tribes, and it was as if the scales had fallen before my eyes. I saw them for who they truly were, and I know there can never be peace. If we are to survive, it must be as one race, one tribe, not a melting pot. Good to hear, Clover. Good to hear. Sunstein said, There might be hope for you yet. I always told Lovely Moon, do not mistake this phrase between us. Clover said tersely, When I am done here, I'll go examine who should be allowed to stay, who should be joining our foes. Good night, Sunstream. The orange unicorn smirked. Of course. She pulled her hood back, only to pause in the tent's doorway. And you might want to look into some main dying spells. You're too young to be going gray. Clover frowned at her rival's barb. waiting until Sunstream had left before making her way to a mirror. She ran a brush for her mane, startled at all silly white strands that were now woven through her purple magenta mane. She never noticed the ice that was forming along her flank.
Mama, can we hear a doggy?
Dinky mumbled, her little eyelids finally shut as she fought against the pull of the Sandman. Her little hat crooked on her head, and her tussie was sticking up in the air as she wiggled against her mother's warm coat. Oh, there we go.
You'll see, Muffin,
Derpy said as she turned to the TARDIS, her wings flaring out to make sure Dinky didn't slip off her back. She accidentally ripped the coat while taking down the earth ponies, and while Starswell had been happy to repair it, Derpy had asked him to leave 2 shallow cuts so she could keep her wings spread.
Can he be a robot doggy? With wheels and a funny yip and a laser under his nose?
Sure thing, baby. A robot doggy.
Dinky
said, drifting off to sleep. Derpy smiled and trotted down the hall towards Dinky's room, wanting to visit the little filly in her bed. It's been a long day for her, the doctor said with a yawn of his own. Long day for all of us. Starswell nodded, looking about the TARDIS. The doctor noticed he did not gaze upon the fantastic device with wonder and amazement. He did not rush in and out of it, stammering in delight that it was bigger on the inside, like so many did. Except Derpy, who only asked where is the muffin room. He did not look at the strange devices and machinery that, for this era, would have seemed impossible, and wondered what they were. No. Starswell the Beard looked upon the TARDIS like a man returning to his childhood home, and finding that some of the lamps had changed, and there was a new throw rug. The place remained the same. When did this panel get stressed? Starswell asked. The doctor, who was busy removing his hat and coat, glanced over at the famous maids. A few years ago. Tricky business involving a potato dragon named Strux, but we worked it out. Starswell began to chuckle. You told me I did it. Should have known you were trying to pass off the blame.
Doctor, I didn't know you knew Starswell the Bearded,
Derpy said, returning to the console room sans her winter gear. A basket of chocolate chip muffins, replacing the filly on her back. She handed them out, knowing that the doctor would need a nice shot of sugar to keep him up and ready. I don't. Or at least, I don't yet. The maid nodded, looking up from the console. Indeed, Doctor. While this is your first meeting with me, it is not mine, nor would it be my last if I am the waiter.
Of course,
the doctor exclaimed.
That explains it.
Explains what? The doctor grinned in delight. Oh, this is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Doctor,
Derpy said, trying to get the Time Lord's attention. The doctor commonly forgot that others couldn't hear his thoughts or follow his logic, and if not snapped out of his internalized ramblings, he would merely continue going deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole until the chains of thoughts could no longer be followed. Oh, right. Sorry about that. The doctor rubbed the back of his head, his grin still threatening to split his face.
This is just so fantastic! What is it, Doctor?
Starswell, of course! His first appearance in the history books was 20 BC, 5 years before today. Police have wondered for centuries where he was and what he was doing before that. He is, after all, one of the most famous mages in history, and any pony that would think that the tales of his youth would be just as important as tales of his winter years. Autumn years, Starswell grumped, though there was a teasing glint in his eye. Yet we all know that one day he showed up, the most skilled mage unicorn in history, and took Clover as his apprentice. It was a mystery wrought in his riddle sprinkled with coconut. But now it makes sense! The reason Starswell does not appear in the text is because he wasn't here. He was off with us, or a future version of us, hauling ground defenses and such. The guard's horn glowed as he removed his hat. When you first met me, I was young and foolish and lazy, and I can admit quite arrogant. I was a shadow of who I am now, and all I haven't achieved has been your name due to your help. The doctor practically skipped to the controls of the TARDIS. Oh, this is absolutely delightful!
It is, Derpy said, like, isn't it great how this solves all our problems with Clover, Smart Cookie, and Commander Pansy going insane?
The doctor blinked, staring at Derpy before leaning in towards Starswell. I can't tell if she honestly believes that or was being skeezily sarcastic. I will never find out, Starswell stated. Wait, what about Clover? The doctor winked dismissively at Starswell. Oh, you know, her suddenly deciding to want to subscribe to unicorn supremacy, threatening genocide against the other tribes. Nothing to worry about now that you're here. What has happened to my Clover, Doctor? Starswell yelled. What has been done to her? I don't know. I assumed you would tell us. Why would I tell you? What would I tell you? How would I know? The doctor frowned, staring at Star Swirl, waiting for the punchline. I I assumed you knew. Did I tell you about this when you sent you to wait for us? Of course you didn't. The mage began to pace. I asked you why I needed to wait for you, but you said it would be spoilers, and that you would let me know what was going on. What do you mean Clover is not a unicorn supremacist?
Derpy looked back and forth between the two stallions. Am I the only one that's completely lost?
No, Debbie, you aren't, the doctor grumbled. I must have not decided to tell Starswell what happened, because he didn't know what had happened to me. Well, I hate future me.
And you'll become him. So you're gonna eat yourself?
Derpy ran over and hugged the doctor.
But I still love you. Is that enough?
Plenty, the doctor said with a smile. All right, long story short, Starswell. Clover, Swat, Cookie, and Pansy have returned to their tribes, ready to wage war on each other. Something's happened to change the events of Hearthswarming. The doctor rubbed his chin. No, it didn't. Today is Hearthswarming Eve, or it will be soon. That means what happened yesterday always happened, and something happens to change things, and then back to the way they're supposed to be. Clover's starting war, Starswell said, trying to wrap his mind around this new information. Yes, but that is ancient history, and all will be once we're done. Now then, we need to figure out what has happened to fix it. The doctor began to tap away at the keyboard, bringing up all the findings he managed to gather about Clover in the cave. Now then, do you know any spells that could turn a sane pony into a bigot? Starswell clenched his jaw, forcing down his concern for his companion, student, and focusing on the task at Hoof. It would not help him to have a panic attack now. He could worry about Clover once he had a solution. Not that I know. There are compulsion spells, to be sure, but most of them are centered around an object or being. Was Clover fighting to gain something?
Well, just land.
No, it would have to be smaller. The one that needed spell loses power once it was placed in larger objects. Placed on this entire country make it worthless. Stone perhaps, but not everything. Starswell began to puzzle at the riddle. They're all mind charms, of course, but they wouldn't alter Clover. Merely make her forget. Perhaps the Dark Mage used a combination of spells to achieve that effect. Combine several other spells together, making one to activate right after the other. That might achieve the effect we are seeing now.
Who might know how to do that?
The doctor asked. Let us see. Starswell said, flying over to another section of the console, and, with skill that spoke of years of working at the controls, began to type in some commands. One of the monitors flashed as Starswell began to go through the database on different species and brands of magic. Let us start with cultures to narrow it down. The unicorns are a possibility, but I thought they would be useless to spell on all three tribes. Why not just make our enemies weak-willed? We could rule out Capricorns. They are a royal culture, yes, but have a strict code of honor, and would see using magic as mockery of their god king. Same with the Pratons. They honor battle almost as much as the Capricorns. Besides, their spells are designed to manipulate the physical world, not spiritual or mental ones. Griffins perhaps, but there are so few of them that they can use magic, and those that tend not to be warriors but scholars. The Crystal Empire might be our best bet. King Saba was a well-known dark magic user, and did love using mind magic. According to this, there were several other rulers who believed in the dabble in the dark arts, including his father, King Mumbro, who is the current ruler now. The Crystal Ponies tend to be exclusionists and prefer not to intermingle with other tribes. Yes, the doctor said, this could be a Crystal Empire plot to keep the three tribes from immigrating farther north. The Time Warriors rushed over to a lever and began to prime it. Alright, next up, Crystal Empire!
Derpy nodded. At least the tribes won't worry about the Wendigos while we're gone.
What do you mean, Derpy? The doctor said. They should be deathly afraid of them. The Wendigos are attracted to hostilities.
But they must be gone, the mayor pointed out. They were in that cave with Princess Platinum and Chancellor Hurricane and froze them. But when Clover and the rest began fighting, they weren't around. The founders are being much worse than the three rulers. If the Wendigos were around, they would have attacked them too.
Derpy paused, looking at the Doctor of Swarswirl, who was staring at her in disbelief.
What? Are there muffin crumbs in my mean?
The Wendigos didn't attack the founders, the doctor whispered. Why wouldn't they attack them? They are attracted to negative emotions. If Clover was acting as you say, they should have been swallowing her, Starswell said, moving away from the controls and tugging on his beard as he considered this new revelation. But they left her alone. Why? The two sons looked at each other and sighed. Because they are using them!
Who's using who?
Derpy asked in confusion.
The Wendigos. Oh, the Wendigos. Those clever little monsters. If they weren't trying to destroy all the ponykind, I would respect them for their cunning. Doctor, walk us through this.
Derpy said, grabbing the stallion's cheeks and forcing him to look into her eye. Right. Okay, so we always assume the Wendigos are predators, hunters that seek out their prey. In this case, the prey is ponies. The common view is that Wendigos seek out ponies filled with negative emotions and pounce when the time is right, freezing them for whatever reason they feed ponies. But what if we are wrong? Most scientists tell you that being a hunter is rather rough. The success rate of most predators is at best 30%. A ton of effort is put into failure. Wasted energy, lost time. So what is the answer? What is the balanced method? Simple. Farming. Farming. The Wendigos are farmers. They seek out the fertile land or ponies with the potential to feel great hatred or anger. They then plant the seeds, motivate them to continue on that path. They nurture the hostility until the stallion shrug, time to harvest.
But, Doctor, they didn't harvest Clover and the rest.
Derpy reminded him. The doctor let out a laugh as he began to spin several dials on the console. Ha ha! Ah, but that is because they decided to move up in the world, working on one pony at a time. That's like growing a flower in the window box. The Wendigos want to go bigger, better. Take that flower and transport it to an entire field that's ready to be farmed. This needs the right fertilizer. The tribes, Sarswell stated, eyes widening. They invented Clover, the most staunch opponent against war. I sent it back to her tribe, filled with warhawks ready to draw their swords. The same with Ponzi and Smart Cookie. They eliminate the leaders, make their seconds war hungry, give them a battle cry to rally around. It's perfect! This has all been about getting a bumper crop. 3 tribes of ponies already touched his throats. The doctor shook his head. It's horrible, brilliant, and horrible.
But why? Derpy asked. Why are the Wendigos doing this?
The doctor opened his mouth, only to blink and remain silent. He went off to the side, considering Derpy's question, before slowly setting his mouth. Right. Don't know exactly why they are doing it, but we'll find out right now. Sarswell, please spin the blue lever 3 times. Derpy, spin that crank counterclockwise for 15 seconds. The 2 ponies hurried over, following the doctor's commands as he began to press wildly several buttons. All right, if I've done this right, we should materialize in 10 seconds.
Materialize where, Doctor?
Derpy asked. In Clover's tent! The doctor turned, grinning as Clover, curled up on a cot and covered in blankets, began to fade in and out of TARDIS. All right, hold. Now flick the yellow button, Derpy! The TARDIS jerked for a moment, then stabilized, leaving the 3 ponies staring at Clover's still sleeping form. Perfect! Well done!
What's this do?
I materialized the TARDIS around Clover, then took her and us out of our tent. Now we're back at the caves, which will give us plenty of peace and quiet to investigate your lovely companions, Sarswell, and fix her right up. He cut his hooves again together. Now come along then, no time like the present to save the past! Tried to Clover soak her up. Up!
But your hooves are so...
Clover mumbled. The doctor turned to Derpy. As I said, each of those strange things. Allow me. Sarswell said, marching over to Clover's bed and leaning down close to the slumbering mare. Clover, he whispered, you need to get up before you are late for your test.
Test?
Clover screamed, leaping out of the bed, blanket wrapping around her, causing her to pitch forward.
What test? What?
The mare looked around, aimlessly, before spying the bearded stallion. Sarswell, what? Derpy let out a gasp, and the doctor's eyes widened in shock. Clover's entire mane had gone snowy white, and past her coat was flesh-covered, as if they were affected by some hideous rash. Every time the mare let out a puff of white would escape her pale blue lips. Clover did not shiver, though, or show any sign she was cold. Even as that the ice was replacing her coat, crept up and down her legs, towards her head. Even her cutie mark was fading away, barely visible like the moon hidden beneath a swarm of clouds. Sarswell forced himself to soldier on, even as the horror of what happened to her was presented to him. It's all right, my faithful student. We are here to help.
Help? Help?
Clover echoed, looking around confused. Where? As he spied the doctor, Derpy, and hissed. What are those filthy creatures doing here? They are here to help you, Clover, Sarswell said gently. I don't need help from them, unless they want to kill themselves and help me rid their kingdom of their kind. Clover, Sarswell said sternly. The mere fact that you're thinking those things tells me something is wrong. The Clover I know would never act this way. Then what? You didn't know me all that well, did you, blood traitor? Clover shouted, pushing herself away from her mentor, her body shrinking as it was trying to rid her of his touch. I thought so much of you, old graybeard, but now I see age down in your mind and let you a dullard. You consort with this filth and dare say I am sick? Ha! It's you who say he is ill, and the only cure is fire. Fire and blood for all the traitors to the great unicorn kind. She let the eyes of her stunned mentor snarled. Move aside and allow me to end these two, or I will break you. I do not want to hurt you, Clover, Starswell said, his stab held tightly in his foreleg. But I will if you insist on continuing this path.
You hurt me?
Clover laughed, lighting up her horn. You think for a moment you can challenge me? Your feeble tricks are no match for my magic, you doddering old. The age of Starswell the Buried is over. I will clear the Clover! Starswell roared, his magic swirling around him. The mare backed up, eyes wide with fright as the lights dimmed around her. The bearded stallion seemed to grow larger and larger until he was her entire world. All else darkened and deepened, leaving Clover to feel as she was exposed to the harsh desert sun. Do not take me for some cheap conjurers and tricks! I am not trying to harm you! Clover whimpered, falling her belly even as the power Starswell receded. He appeared once more as his normal self. I am trying to help you, he said more gently, approaching the mare and tipping her chin up so she could look at him. Starswell? Starswell? Clover whispered, her voice sounding faint. I see her from the deep cave. Please, please, I keep trying to fight it. Fight what? The Wendigo. The Wendigo, the doctor said, his screwdriver out pointing at Clover. He smirked to himself as the scientist's head rotated for a moment before locking into position. Oh, yes, you tricky little bugger! I didn't know what to look for in the cave, so I was able to miss you. But now I know to seek you out, and I have, and know exactly what you are. Well, say hello, dear. Clover's head snapped up, and the mare hissed, forcing herself to stay away from Starswell. You cannot win, she said, though the voice was her own. It was deeper, vibrating with hidden fury. We have taken the three, and soon the tribes will wage war. By tomorrow we will have a feasting to feel the likes of which we have never beheld. The frozen falls will feed us for centuries, and soon you will join them, meddler. This little one is merely the first of many. There's nothing you can do to stop us. Did he just say that there's nothing that the Doctor, one of the baddest sci-fi heroes out there, can do? Did he just say, buddy, you don't know who you're messing with? Nothing. Nothing. Ha 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 ha! Oh, you sad little parasite. I take it back, by the way. I said you were a farmer, but you're really a parasite, aren't you? That's how you function, right? Don't bother answering me. I know all about you now. He wiggled the side screwdriver. Have all the data I need.
Doctor,
Derpy said as he waved for Clover.
please don't taunt the parasite ice monster.
Data! Data! I care not for this data! The Wendigo, controlling Clover, forced the mare to rise. The unicorn crying even as her lips were forced to move. The ice was now covering her, as she could see it was rapidly spreading with each word the Wendigo spoke. What can you do, Flessing? You're nothing but meat. We are greater than you. Greater strength, greater skill, greater intelligence. Well then, oh great intelligence, the doctor said mockingly, since you're so smart to allow me to clue you in on something. I am no mere fleshling. I'm the doctor. I'm a time lord. I'm from the town of Ponyville in the country of Equestria. I am 903 years old. I am the husband of Derpy Hooves and father of Dinky, and I'm going to save Clover, Posy, and Smart Cookie. And then just because you really annoyed me, I'm going to wipe every Wendigo off the face of Earth! And was that supposed to scare me? Clover asked in disgust. Not really, the doctor admitted. I just needed you distracted while Starswell prepared his bed. Clover turned, only for Starswell to strand a tentative staff into her side. The mare screeched like a banshee as blue magic surrounded her. I will draw you onto my faithful student, like poison from a wound. I suppose if it's good enough for you, Doctor, it's good enough for me. He leaned in close, the light of his staff illuminating his face. I am the Archmage. I am keeper of lost spells. I am the fifth companion. I am the wielder of the Astral Flame, and I will burn you away, parasite. Leave my faithful student or burn! Clover opened her mouth, and a ghostly form of the Wendigo rushed out, soaring around the TARDIS. It was smaller than expected, no bigger than a squirrel. It let out high-pitched wails as it danced across her inside the floor. You think that this means anything? The Wendigo wheezed, darting towards the doorway, turning hateful eyes towards the group. Clover was now shivering, legs trembling even as her numbed nerves returned, and she could feel the cold penetrating her veins. I will feel another. Then, Doctor, I promise you and my brothers will splat!
Dinky said with a yawn, walking towards her mother, as she dragged her blanket along with her, not noticing all the adults staring at her shark. Why is everybody yelling? The filly went down her left foreleg and squealed, "Ew." She began to flail about, trying to remove the gooey remains of the Wendigo from her hoof. Man, was anticlimactic, the doctor muttered as Derpy helped Dinky clean up, Starswell gathering the sobbing Clover into his forelegs.